All right. Good evening, everybody. In 1983, Hulk Hogan was fired from the WWF for his participation in the Rocky III movie as Thunder Lips in the flesh, baby. Then less than a year later, on January 23rd, 1984, Hulkamania was reborn. He would win his first world championship. Hulk would go on to captivate more than 100 million fans worldwide. In 1987, he would set records for attendance and indeed sell out arenas all over the world. From the very first toys, the TV shows, the movies, the merchandise, Hulk was on every one of them and generally the first. Hulk was generally in just about every household out there, being on TV, not only in wrestling, movies, shows, but even commercials. A lot of us remember the deodorant commercial about being civilized and uncivilized. A lot of times you can remember too TV shows such as Hulk Hogan thundering in paradise. His voice heard like thunder, brother. Hogan Knows Best wasn't always the best, but it allowed for people who never knew the wrestler to get to know him as a person, creating even more fans and a whole new generation. Hulk wasn't always standing in the ring holding a big shiny belt. He had a dark and sad and lonely times in his personal life that would break any man's spirit. He paid for a tremendous amount of his personal sins through his constant pain and suffering from the years of entertainment he provided. When Hulk was asked, "Would you do it all over again?" he very quickly said yes. Although he remarked, "I probably would have picked a different finisher than the leg drop." I was extremely fortunate to have been able to meet him so many times over the years. One of the very last times, he even called me by my name, brother. When you think about American icons in entertainment, there's a list of people that come to mind. When you think of those that have passed on, the list would surely include Babe Ruth, Michael Jackson, James Brown, Dale Earnhardt, Elvis Presley, Muhammad Ali, and now sadly, the immortal Hulk Hogan. Regardless of love or hate for the individual, his legacy will live on. To steal a line from Elton John in one of his most famous songs, your candle burned out long before your legend ever will. Rest in peace from TRC to Hulk Hogan.
Very good.
Well said, Will.
Good job, bro.
All right, Kev, get us fired up on roundtable number one, brother.
Okay, I'm gonna try to figure out how to get rid of that picture, but I can stay there for now. Roundtable number one. Favorite promo of the Hulkster. Favorite promo of the Hulkster.
Who's up first?
So I guess I'd go first. I would say my favorite promo of Hogan's would be Bash at the Beach on his heel turn.
I agree.
Very good.
That's very
Same
good.
as me.
Okay. Anybody got
On me?
anything different?
I have the same answer, so
Same here.
Manuel,
Same
Bill,
answer.
anybody?
I was
did
going
too.
to take that one, but I didn't. Just got to know everybody would. But mine is just from a Nitro from Florida, where he made the quote, "I'm the man that made wrestling famous." When he was talking about, and then he, I think it's right before the feud with Karl Malone and DDP and Jay Leno, when he talked about how athletic Rodzilla was, and how great Rodzilla was in the ring, which Rodzilla was an entity in himself in the NWO. So that was one of my favorite promos from him.
And another one, not really a promo, but
Absolutely.
but when Russo had Jeff Jarrett lie down for him, and Hogan went off at the end saying, that's why this company's is the way it is. Not really a promo, but he kind of dug it in.
Yeah.
Another one that's not.
that
Well,
was true.
it was a real life
Yes.
promo, honestly.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
That was true.
I don't know if you call that interview segment with Roddy Piper a promo, but when Andre, come out there and he's doing that, Andre, what are you doing with him? I mean, that was just classic.
Some of
That's
my
absolutely a
favorites
promo. That's a
are not
promo.
promos. Like I was just watching a Nitro earlier when, like they'd call him out and they attack him and he'd be out of the ring and he'd be talking like, get him away from me, brother. Just all like when he was getting attacked or like they called the NWO and he's like, you're talking to me, and just those right there for me are better than some promos because he's still he just got attacked or beat up or whatever, and he's still talking trash as he's holding his head walking by, So for me, I always thought those were cool. Just when he got attacked and he's walking down the ramp backwards, he's like, get him away from me, give me my belt.
Yep.
Yeah. How about the one where Piper turned heel and Piper didn't turn heel, Eric Bischoff did, and then he done that. Now that we all know who everybody works for.
Yep.
I mean, that was pretty awesome. I mean, Hulk made that Eric Bischoff turn great. My God, he was the president or whatever control of WCW. Now he works for the NWO.
Him and the Roddy Piper feud, show him your heel, brother. Show him your heel.
Yeah.
Mania 4 was always a favorite of mine when he was talking about when Donald Trump and his wife and kids are on top of Trump Tower and it sinks to the bottom of the ocean. And Hulk Hogan jumps in. He says, hold on to me, brother. And then at the end, he just swims away.
Yeah. The millions of Hulkamaniacs floating on Hulk's back, right?
Right.
Oh man, really cool. That promo you brought up, Kev, about Halloween Havoc '96, when Piper came out and Piper was reading them the riot act basically, and then Hogan said as Piper was leaving the ring, he thought it was over. Oh, by the way, Piper, when you go to the bathroom, you're supposed to squat in that one.
Right.
A lot of people forgot about that. That was the comment. That was, that was the comedy side of it. So very good. Does anybody have a different one?
Because he looked at Giant and kept on calling him Sprout.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all touched on my favorite one, of course, was Bash at the Beach. But just to note a little bit of mannerisms of Hulk, man. I don't know if it was the ones in my mind mostly are heel turns after he was heel, but just the way that he would lift the mic up when Gene would hold the mic and him be doing his promos, but he would lift the mic up. I don't know. It's just something about that, man,
Yeah, because Gene would be standing there, right? And if you hold your arm steadily for like 5 minutes, your arm just tends to slowly go down because, it's not a natural position to hold your arm like that forever. And then Hogan would go over and just kind of like flip it up, like get this up here. Because you got to remember back then, Hogan was 6'7", 6'8". Gene was what, 5'9", maybe 5'8". So he had to get that microphone up there. So very, very good. Like it a lot. Anybody got anything else? No?
Anything?
All right, Kev, round table number 2.
Favorite championship?
What's Joe Kuhn say in the comments? I can't.
He says, just got
What'd Joe
home
Kuhn
from
say? I can't
vacation and
read it.
Hulkamania will live forever. Still a shock.
Yeah.
And Beth's got teary eyes.
Somebody else commented too, teary eyes.
Yeah, that's. Oh, Justin Larson said, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Justin.
Okay. All right. Round table number 2.
It is your favorite championship win, Hogan's favorite championship win. I'll go first. And believe it or not, my favorite championship win was his last world title that he beat Triple H. That was my favorite one. It was just, they brought him back. He got out. They had that match with The Rock. They brought him back to the red and yellow, and it was perfect timing. I think they done the right thing by giving him the belt. And, everybody thought he was washed up then, and I loved it. That's my favorite title that he got, world title. Was the very last one. Brad?
So mine would be the 94 Bash at the Beach, Ric Flair. That was a great match. I think they did the right thing by putting the title on him.
Okay. Brian?
My turn. So mine will be Hog Wild 1996 when Hulk Hogan defeats the undefeated The Giant, therefore winning the title for the NWO.
And the spray paint.
For life.
There we go.
There it is, baby.
Oh man.
So I actually brought this out to discuss that.
The title's
So
sick.
mine is the same thing. Mine's the same thing. It's of course the Hog Wild 96, the win, and then of course like how much more over could you be as a bad guy than to paint the NWO on that championship belt that so many legends had, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Manuel?
Mine's probably not going to be, probably most popular, but I enjoyed the finger poke of doom. I mean, growing up, I mean, he had me. I mean, you thought him and Nash, here's this rivalry, two alter egos, they're going one-on-one for the title. I didn't see the swerve coming. I truly didn't. I'm going back and watching the Nitros leading up to it. I still don't. But for me, the finger poke of doom, just the jumping around afterwards, like they worked hard. For me, that's just like, oh, okay, now I get it.
That's awesome.
Honestly, I forgot about that.
That's a great memory.
I enjoy it. I mean, it's comical, but I mean, who else to carry the title at that time than Hulk? And that's when he painted it red. That's when he painted it red.
Yeah, that was the combination of black and white and Wolfpack.
Yeah. That's probably one of my favorites.
Nothing wrong with that because it goes down in history. That's when they combined each other.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Calvamania running wild. What do you got?
So I had Hog Wild, but I had an alternate. I'm going to go with his first title win, January 23rd, 1984, WWE in the Garden against Iron Sheik.
I love that one too. On my birthday.
Very good.
Brony.
Roger?
I hate to say it, and it pains me to say this, but I agree with Brian.
Shocker.
The match against Ric Flair, I thought was a very great
That was my
match.
brother.
That was me.
They don't look that much alike.
Well, they're both fucking ugly, so.
Jesus.
Whoever
Jeez,
said,
Roger, tell us how you really feel.
It's a tribute.
whichever one said the match with Ric Flair, so.
It's a tribute show, brother.
And for the same reasons, because I thought it was a really great match.
Okay, good. Steve Phil?
And I'm gonna go with the other twin and the Hog Wild match, spray paint, NWO for life. That's just what it is.
I mean, it was a great match. Great,
And
No, for real, the build up. I mean, it was crazy.
You pretty much knew he was gonna. You thought he was gonna win anyway.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why we watched though.
Right.
Dr. Nick?
Yep.
So I had Bash of the Beach 94, but I did have a backup. Technically, it wasn't a WWE World Title match, but I was really happy when he won the tag team titles with Edge. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Don't fire Kev up.
That was.
Well, Evan Jarman here says always enjoyed Hogan in the Dungeon of Doom videos.
That's not hot.
I've never been here before.
It was
good.
very cartoonish.
Yeah.
It was very cartoonish.
What is
But
this place?
At the time, it really was like you wanted to see what was going to happen with him in the Dungeon of Doom.
Right. There's no Hulkamaniacs here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, he walks in and then he hears, "Hey, babe."
Right.
Well, it was
Stop it.
essentially a feeder system for Hogan at the time. You know, a bunch of different
Hey, Richard.
heels for him to fight.
Yeah, it was. It built up a lot of feuds coming up, especially for Nitros.
Yeah.
Very good.
I agree, Evan. It was
All
fun.
right, I think
and-
everybody went on that one.
Yep.
What's roundtable number 3?
round number the favorite Hogan match of all time.
If you could only pick one, if you could only watch one, what
Okay.
would it be?
Mine's Hogan versus Rock. I probably just took all of everybody's, but
No.
That
Nope.
was my second. That was my backup.
That was my first.
that was just, the way that it was just made out, because, before that, Hogan was a dastardly heel. They tried everything. He tried to kill The Rock by running into with a semi. They tried to make him like a bad guy, but once he got to WrestleMania, the crowd wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah.
So that's why that's my, I could name some more, but that's my favorite. Brad?
So mine would probably be what a lot of people's are here. This is actually one of the first things that got me to professional wrestling was Hogan versus Andre. Andre was such an immovable object, and when Hogan picked him up and slammed him and gave him the leg drop, he was the powerhouse after that. So that'd be my favorite Hogan match.
Right. And see, that's one that I would pick too if I was thinking straight.
So correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that the first time that Gorilla quoted the irresistible force meeting the immovable object?
Yes,
I believe
sir.
so.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I'm 100% positive.
Yes, that is what he. Because I went back and watched it, and that's exactly what he said.
No, but Will asked if that was the first time he said it, and I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I hear
It's
it.
the first
in
time
my
I
head.
first time I ever remember hearing it. Now I've heard it again later, like when he faced Earthquake and stuff like that. But I think if you go back and look, I think that's the very first time he ever said it.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
And I believe the first time, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think the first time they said he was immortal was when he lost to Warrior.
Probably because before that they always referred to him as the Incredible
Right.
Hulk. But then with the lawsuit from Marvel, they had to stop calling him Incredible and they started calling him Immortal.
Makes sense.
Let's see. Richard
All right,
Sutton
next.
says, I'll always remember Hogan and the giant angle with the monster trucks in Detroit.
Yep, I remember that.
And then Evan Jarman says he didn't
Yeah,
win,
when,
but Ultimate Warrior versus Hogan, where he passed Warrior the torch. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to talk over.
Remember
I
with
want to get some of these comments.
remember with Hogan and Giant. And Giant supposedly fell off the top of the building. Remember that? And then
Yeah, you thought he was
shows
dead.
up for the main event, and everybody's like, "I can't believe he's here. He fell off the building."
Yeah, he did.
So, all right, go ahead, Brian. I think it's your turn.
All right, so I picked a feud. I picked obviously, not obviously, but Hulk Hogan versus Macho. They obviously they became the Mega Powers, and then Macho thought Hogan betrayed him and led to that storyline, and then obviously real life hate, right? Macho made a rap song about how much he hated Hogan, and probably died hating Hogan, right?
Yeah.
So
They supposedly made up.
hopefully now hopefully now they're at peace and together. But yeah, I chose that for my answer.
Well,
Supposedly, three weeks before Macho passed, they ran into each other at the doctor's office. Believe it or not, it was a cardiologist's office, and Hogan was having a heart test back in 2011, and Macho was there getting a checkup, and supposedly they made up and they apologized to each other for everything. And 3 weeks later, of course, Macho ended up having the heart attack and then wrecked the Jeep and died. But I think a lot of it came from the personal problems between Macho and Liz, and Hogan's wife and Liz were friends,
Right.
and supposedly Hogan was, or excuse me, Elizabeth was living with Hogan and his wife at one point, and there was just a lot of, it's all that that drama I think led to a lot of the problems. But that was all the way back in '92, and if you go all the way forward, I mean, they still worked together until almost the very end of WCW. So
Yeah.
I would say if I had to pick a match, like one single match out of all of them, I would have to say WrestleMania 7, Hogan and Slaughter was such a believable big concept because the United States, of course, is in Desert Storm. You got America versus Iraq. You got, Sergeant Slaughter's become the Iraqi sympathizer during a time when our country is actually fighting a war with these people, and he's out there cheering on Saddam Hussein. And I think just the whole build up for the whole, the entire thing with America versus a foreign enemy at the time. And I just, for me, if there was only one that you could rewatch over and over, I think that would be it for me.
Well, because we didn't know, we
Manuel?
were young, and we kind of thought that they were, really, Slaughter was really on his side. We weren't
Yep.
really into the back, knowings of the wrestling business.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it was that. I can watch that match too.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead, Manuel.
No, you're good. So I'm probably behind the 8 ball. So I didn't start liking Hogan till NWO.
That's
I
fine.
think-
Yeah.
I mean, I was born in '87, so as I was a kid, I knew him in WCW, and really growing up was NWO. So for me, it was Team WCW versus Team NWO and Fall Brawl.
Okay.
Just that's when I first noticed what a cage, like a battle, like not really a battle royal, but like a survival match was in a cage. As a kid, you're like, oh, it's cool. Like they're throwing each other against the cage. Like I wanted to go outside and do it with my buddies. I lived in a fenced-in yard. I throw my neighbor, a little kid named Tommy. I throw him against the cage against all the time. I thought, as a kid, you thinking it's real. I'm seeing, Kevin Nash, powerbomb people. I'm like, I don't want to do that to you. But for me, that's one of my favorite Hogan matches, just because he was cool as a villain.
I got to ask, is Tommy okay?
I hope.
He's still in Manuel's yard right now.
Me and Tommy was neighbors, and he liked wrestling, but he was a lot younger than me. So I was like, 12, 13. He's like 9. I'm like, 29-year-old kid against the cage. He's crying. I said, quit crying. They don't cry.
Hey, you got to do what's best for business,
right.
brother.
But for
Did
me,
you ever take his head and grind him into the cage?
I
like
feel like that'd have been assault.
Oh, that would have been great.
That's assault, brother.
Assault, brother.
Yeah, that's assault. brother.
That's assault, brother.
I did one time. I did throw him off top of a car onto a mattress. But,
That's awesome.
but for me, Hogan was a cool heel.
Yeah, he was.
Personally, I just
He
thought
he was
a heel.
very good as a heel.
First time I
Tommy was.
We're
Tommy
gonna have
was
to find
telling
Tommy and
Manuel.
bring him on the show.
No,
Yeah, Tommy was telling
want
telling
Tommy.
Manuel that doesn't
Tommy
work for
was
me.
very
He said, you don't want Tommy on the show.
You don't want Tommy on the show. Hey, we will get canceled quick.
Okay.
He's
Hey, it's
worse than
great to
Roger.
laugh, guys. We got to have a
Roger.
laugh in here. That's awesome.
Hey, Manuel, but
say-
real quick, is there going to be a wrestling ring at your reception?
I asked, and she said, if you have a wrestling ring at your reception, we're getting annoyed the next day.
Get you
Oh, wow.
an adult version of a bounce house. They have those. They
There
were
you
But
There you go.
but she did.
I mean, just get married in the wrestling ring.
But she is okay with having wrestling themed cupcakes.
That's not
There
a
you go.
ring.
It ain't a ring, but hey, it's just food. So
All right, guys, let's go on and move on. Calvin.
SummerSlam 05, Shawn versus Hogan.
Nice.
That was a
Oh,
great
wow.
match.
That was a great match.
There you go.
I like the match. I just can't watch it over and over.
Yeah, he oversold.
Yeah.
But it was still a great match.
Roger?
Mine was the
Roger.
same as yours. WrestleMania 18 versus The Rock.
There you go.
Is there any certain reason why? Just, did the hype up,
Just
like you said?
For me at the time, I I had stepped back because I had so many deployments. I hadn't got to watch a lot of wrestling. And then coming back into it and the hype up for it. And for me, it was, okay, you got Hogan against The Rock. I mean,
Yep.
come on. That's got to be, if you're not
Icon
hyped up
versus
for that-
icon.
yeah, if you're not hyped up, you're not a wrestling fan. And for me, that was it as far as Hogan's. Now, if I was to go way back, then yeah, I'd have to go probably Hogan Andre. But just for me personally, if I had to pick one, that was the one for me because it kind of brought me back in.
My favorite part of that, my favorite part of that match wasn't even in the match. It was at the beginning when they both turned to the crowd opposite, and they went like, that was just chilling. It was just,
yeah,
it was so electric.
It was chilling, huh?
But Jim Ross, when
it was, brother.
Jim Ross like that matchup when they was like
going off.
They were talking about that match, and they said, Rock was saying, "How about you main event another one with The Rock?" Ross was like, "Yeah, oh my God, I can feel the goosebumps still to this day," and that's King Phil.
I'm gonna go with y'all have to help me out on the event, but it was Hogan versus Sting, NWO, Hogan, Hollywood Hogan. What was it? Sold Out, maybe.
Starrcade.
Whenever
Starrcade
Sting.
97.
Okay, yeah, that right there. Just because it's top heel, top baby face, love both. Let's see who got it.
Good. That's a great one.
Nick,
that's where the infamous "that doesn't work for me, brother" came out.
So
for real?
Yeah, that was the match because
True story.
That Sting was ready, and that's supposedly the first time, according to Eric Bischoff, that Hulk played his creative control card.
Okay, yeah.
And said that doesn't
work for me, brother.
So that's why you supposedly had a fast count, but it wasn't a fast count, and the rest was just after that. Sorry about that, Nick.
All good. May 27th, 1989. I was sitting in my parents' living room with my brother, and we were sitting on those little yellow plastic little tyke chairs, and I had no idea what was going on, where I was in there playing Legos, and all I saw were these bright colors and stuff. I was only about 4 years old, and I remember asking my brother, what's this? And he goes, "Oh, this is WWF." I had no idea what the hell it was. And so I sat down next to him, and it was Saturday night's main event. We watched the whole show, but I specifically remember Hulk Hogan versus Big Boss Man in the big blue steel cage.
What a great match.
That thing stuck out to me at 4 years old. From that moment on, every time that there was wrestling on TV, I was parked right in front of that TV. Whether it was Superstars or, the main event, or occasionally we would get, wrestling on the weekends that would show up, on the local cable station or whatever. But that right there was the beginning of my wrestling fandom and never stopped.
That's awesome.
That's an
very cool.
All right, let's check into we'll go to the next roundtable. Let's see, it's number 4. This is Show and Tell, one of your favorite Hulk Hogan collectibles. So I'm gonna go on and pull up mine and Calvin's. Okay, starts Calvin's. There you go, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Wait, that ain't mine.
That's not you?
That's the TRC Remembers Hulk Hogan picture.
Yeah, there ain't nothing on there.
Well, what in the world's going on?
No, I see Calvin and Hogan right there.
I don't see it.
All I see is TRC Remembers Hulk Hogan.
That's what I see too.
I see the photo with them both.
I see Calvin and Hogan with his dad's axes in his hand.
Mine says
see
TRC remembers Hulk Hogan in a black and white picture.
That's what
Mine
mine
too.
says.
Wow.
don't know.
Hold on.
What the hell? That's weird.
I think it's like that. Is
We're not
is
true
the grease blue or
Hulkamaniacs,
orange?
brother. That's why we're not true Hulkamaniacs, brother.
Let's try this again.
All right.
Kev said, "You get nothing."
Yeah, well, if not, I
Santa
got
Claus.
We got time, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, we do.
What we see now?
I still see the Hogan.
TRC remembers Hulk Hogan.
I see Calvin.
Okay.
and
That's what I
Hogan.
see.
Guess what? We're gonna do it a different way. Just bear
TRC
with me.
remembers Hulk Hogan.
I see Calvin and Hogan right there.
Okay,
too.
what's the Hulk Hogan look like then, Brian?
What's the what?
What's the Hulk Hogan look like with Calvin? What's he wearing?
He's probably
wearing a red
probably got a red
moccasin.
shirt on.
Yeah, they're standing
That's fun,
in front
guys.
of the ring.
I'll
Hogan's
figure
Beach
this
House.
out. Okay. Let's.
Maybe click to the next picture and see if that fixes it.
There it is.
There we go.
We got.
There we
Yeah.
go. By far the greatest day of my life.
I don't see.
No, I
anything.
don't see shit. What
I
the
don't
hell?
see
Really?
Maga, brother.
I don't see nothing now.
Yeah, all
That's
I see
weird.
are you guys.
I see
How
it,
is
brother.
it possible that only certain people see it at different times?
I don't
What
know.
the hell's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on?
But I know
I
it's
I
Calvin
see
with
it,
Hogan,
brother.
and Hogan's wearing a MAGA shirt, and his ashes are
I
in his
see the
hands.
picture. Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
By
Yeah, I
far the
see it
greatest
too.
day of my life.
How many people can
Hell
see
yeah,
it?
dude. Hell yeah.
I saw it the first time. It's fine.
Yeah, I saw it the first time too. It's okay.
I see it now.
What the hell's that
Is that-
noise?
Is that a Jimmy Hart like mannequin behind you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
That's at the beach shop in Orlando.
Nice.
Okay, give me a second. There.
How tall are you,
No.
Calvin?
6'6".
Damn. Okay.
You can't see the glare sucks, but I got that signed by Hogan when I met him in December.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can everybody see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see nothing. All I see are you guys.
Same
Oh,
here,
really?
man. Yep.
Yeah, I just see you guys.
I see the Warrior Hogan picture.
I can see it.
I'm sure it's a great picture.
And then 2 of these are only signed by Hogan. Got that
It
signed
is.
by Hogan.
That's badass.
I'll imagine it.
Yep.
It's Hogan and Sting.
Beautiful.
Brian has the same one, so got this by way of Brian.
It's all beautiful. I'm looking at it a little while longer.
I'm willing to guess. You'll never see another one of those because I've never seen another one.
That's pretty cool.
And that will stay right there on that wall.
Here's the last one of Calvin's right here.
That's
Bash
badass
the
right
Beach
there.
96.
That's badass.
Bash at the Beach 96.
Love it. I have the same one on my wall.
Awesome. All right. Bear with me, guys. Okay. Going into mine. I have 3, so.
OG promo, baby.
One of my recent pickups.
I don't see nothing.
I'll have to email it to you.
It looks great, Kev.
I'll use
But
my
you see nothing,
imagination.
right?
I see nothing.
Me and Brian are getting screwed on this. I don't see
It's all right.
shit either.
Dude, I'm used to this stuff on this yard. It's all right.
Yeah, at least you didn't get kicked yet.
Not yet. Still early.
Don't jinx it.
I think what it is it's been Kentucky's internet that's going after you.
Whatever. Could be.
Number 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Beautiful.
Hey, I remember when. Wait, yeah, I remember when that got signed. I was there.
Right, I was too.
That's really cool.
And when that came up for
Gorgeous.
sale on a TRC Live, I made sure I grabbed that thing. I wanted it when it was signed. Okay, I got one more.
Awesome.
My most recent Hogan pickup.
Oof.
That's a 1 of 1, baby.
1 of 1.
Kevin,
Nice.
what are you showing?
I'm showing the it's signed 4 times by Hulk Hogan, Barry Windham, Mike Rotunda, and Hillbilly Jim.
So your Hulk Hogan comic book isn't on there?
No, I'm still waiting to get that. Yeah, help me, Will. Encapsulated.
Oh, encapsulated. All right,
Encapsulated. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's not as easy as it once was to do that because now that the two companies have merged,
Yeah.
we've been working on it for probably 8 months now. So, but we are working on it.
Right. But I definitely own it. It's one side Roddy Piper, one side Hogan.
Yep.
I was there when that was signed too.
Beautiful.
All right. Okay, let me figure. I'll figure this out sooner or later. Okay, guys, that's mine and Calvin's.
Now we're up to Brad.
You can skip me because I just have a few Hogan action figures, but my real piece will be here soon from William. So you can skip me and go on to my brother. I don't really have anything.
As soon as
But
it
you
gets
do have stuff
certified,
coming, so
it'll be there.
that's awesome. All right, Brian.
All right, guys. So I'll go pretty quick because I'm.
Here we go
I know
again.
Calvin has
We
it.
can't hear you.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Oh, let me.
Hey,
what the hell
King
am I
P.
doing?
King P. Starcade. Right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Hogan Sting.
That's it.
Only 2 of those that are dual signed.
Man, that's it.
I
But
got
both
this
of
from
them are different.
Yep. So I got this from William, and I'm glad I did. I got the
Oh, wow.
Superstar
Yeah, that's
Hogan
badass.
Yeah.
And guys, how many of you guys here have a Hulk Hogan cake pan? I do, brother.
I wish
Hell
I
yeah.
did.
I remember when you got that.
I do
Yep.
too.
You
Why don't
remember
you make
that?
us a cake?
You remember
So-
that, Brian?
I do.
I remember talking to you guys in the chat, and I was like, "You guys ain't gonna believe what I found."
And
I
I'm
mean-
like, I'm gonna get it.
There you go.
I pulled a Kev. I made nobody. I just claimed it. So guys, Hogan and this guy had a good feud, and
Beautiful.
Hogan versus Vince.
That's nice.
WrestleMania 19.
And then of course you can't have a Hogan without a Rip'em.
Hey, I got a 16 by 20 like that.
I got this from William, and this thing is beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful.
No holds barred movie promo. And
Oh
then
yeah.
I picked this one because I actually, when I met Hogan for that beer signing, I got this signed.
Awesome.
So, and then just 2 other things. So, guys, again, you can't think of Hogan without a Hogan LJN, right?
Right.
Man, that's
Missing the
clean
belt.
too.
It is
Yeah.
clean.
And then, in my opinion, the best retro, WWE retro of Hogan. I know I'll get other people answers, but look at that thing, dude.
Yep.
It's gorgeous.
So, that's my
Man.
Hogan collection, and I'm gonna miss him a lot.
So Brian, I will concede that the NWO Hulk and the Rip'em Hulk can be tied.
All right. But
I know
like
you
the
and I
Rip'em.
have gone back and forth.
Yes.
I know you and I have gone back and forth on it, but
I like the Rip'em because it comes with a belt. This one could have come with a big gold, but oh well.
Yeah.
I digress.
Okay, Will.
all right, man. So I mean, obviously you saw
That's so
the
beautiful.
NWO belt, but what you did not see.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Williams
Claim.
is out here throwing heat.
damn,
And
that
of
just brought me
course,
to
on
tears
that
more than
side.
anything.
Too
You
sweet.
gotta have Too Sweet.
Oh,
Damn.
I mean, so shout out to Jessica, because I would have never spent the money and bought this for myself, but she knew that I wanted it. She liked it. I liked it, and she said, "You should get it." And I said, "No, I'm not gonna spend the money." And she went back in the store and she bought it and brought it out to the truck. So
Nice.
shout out to her. And
oh, she's the
tell
best.
you know, there's a lot of belts out there that are signed, but there's not a lot with inscriptions. So I'm very fortunate to have it, and especially a day like today. I mean, it's coming for everyone, obviously, but when it actually happens, it's never what you prepare for. So that's the only thing I'm going to show tonight, just because I wanted to show my appreciation for it.
It's so
That's
beautiful.
awesome, Will.
Beautiful, Bill.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you for showing that.
Thank you.
All right, Manuel.
So I looked, and all I have is one Hogan.
That's all you need, brother.
It's
Fine.
not even time, brother.
But that's the greatest unsigned picture you can have.
That's
is.
awesome.
But I know he's passed away, but I'm sure I can send it off and somebody can get it completed for me. I'm sure.
Somebody.
Not in this group though. Not
Nope.
in this group. Maybe Kevin Nash, but I think I like it. I like it unsigned.
It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous.
But the only person I don't have is a Hogan. So
I'd frame this sucker and put it on my wall. That's gorgeous.
I probably
yeah.
Well, Manuel, I know a guy that has some Hogans.
I know a guy too. That outbid me every time.
No, I'm talking about William.
Yes, him too. That's all I got.
I told you what you're gonna make me do.
No, brother, I don't want it, bro. You keep
He's gonna go running wild.
You keep it.
Calvin will do that.
I know he will.
He'll do something. He'll do it.
I know he will. But
And I'll let you pick one.
It's not for me guilt tripping. I just thought it was funny that my only Hogan I ever was going to get 4 seconds left. Calvin $2 bid me up, and I was like, shit.
Calvin sniped him.
He said, "You get nothing."
He sniped me,
brother.
He dropped
RKO'd
the
out of nowhere.
on you.
He RKO'd out of nowhere.
Isn't it better than some other people that could have gotten it though?
Very well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
At least I know it was going somebody.
There's times. Yeah, there's times when I see stuff go to certain people, and I'm like, you know what? That's where that item belonged. Like the cake pan with Brian.
Right.
At least I know that Calvin will appreciate it. Other than some people would probably turn around and resell it.
Yep.
You got that right.
Oh yeah, this stuff's staying in my collection, baby.
All right, Roger.
Roger.
There I am. So,
God, you're ugly.
Your mom didn't think so.
Damn. Here we go. Roger's choosing hate today.
So I got all these Hulks I got from Will.
TRC Blue.
Beautiful.
These are the one of the, if not the most important autographs in my collection, other than my Braves.
Hey Zach.
I love that.
I had that same one inscribed John 3:16.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's my favorite one.
That one. And of course, Will mentioned Thunder Lips earlier.
That's beautiful.
In the flesh. Hey, Roger, in the flesh, baby.
In the flesh, baby.
Awesome.
And then you can see it, but you can see it above me. The
Oh yeah.
Hulk Hogan Trumpomania running wild.
Hell yeah.
And then I also picked up this one from Will.
There you
Beautiful.
go.
24-inch pythons.
So
And
one thing I would like to say, and Roger made a tremendous point, and I don't even think he intended to make that point, but he made a tremendous point showing those photos. Is Jess and I said a long time ago when we sold a Hogan, we were going to make sure that we got it certified for free for everybody, because we knew that it was going to be a grail in somebody's collection, and we knew at some point it was going to become an investment piece. Yep. And all these years now, probably 4 or 5 years, we've been doing the free JSA certifications on all the Hogans. So I wanted you guys to know, and so did Jess, that we appreciated you guys, and when you bought those things, that we knew they were going to be centerpieces of the collection and really treasured. So that's why we've always done that with the Hogans, and we haven't really done it with anything else. So just wanted to mention that.
Appreciate it. That's awesome.
Bring that bad boy up.
All right, King P.
As y'all know, I only got one Hogan. I got to get it not too long ago. Beautiful piece. My favorite Hogan was Hollywood Hogan. He's a great baby face, but an even greater heel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Look at that.
Hey, for the record, King Phil outbid me on that one.
I really needed it, man. I didn't have one. I didn't have one, and he really did mean a lot to my wrestling journey. Pretty much started it out. I mean, he's one of my first wrestlers I can remember, so and one of my favorites over the years, even. So I just had to have one for my collection, man. But I mean, I'm going to get more, but I had to have that one though, for real.
It's gorgeous. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Nick.
So I thought this might be easier. I got a Hogan shelf up there, all on risers. There's some you can't see, but I basically got every Hogan figure. And then over there, I got a shelf on top of there full of Hogans. And I thought I'd show this off just because this is one of my favorite unique items. So this is it was a book put out by Roberts Books. It's when he was in Japan in '85. And this was a huge bonus. I got this in India a couple years ago. Poster's still there.
Nice.
Look at that. Love it.
Itchy Bond.
Yeah.
Bond. Kev, can you try to let Brian back in?
But these, having these items and figures and things like that.
Okay, what?
Right now, it kind of hurts to look at them, and I think it's going to hurt.
I think my
for a
brother's
while.
phone was acting up again.
But I think eventually I'll be able to look and not be as sad. I don't know. I guess I'm still processing, but that's some of my favorite things.
So I think we all are, because I don't think it's possible for us as people to really realize so quickly how things are. But I mean, this is one of those days I was telling Jess earlier where there's no bigger day in professional wrestling ever than today will be.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the heel turn at Bash and him slamming Andre, but the biggest day ever in professional wrestling will be July 24th, 2025. And I don't think anybody's able to truly process that yet, but I truly believe that. So, and hopefully we can get Brian back in because he's a very big.
Yeah, I don't see him in the lobby yet, so hopefully he does.
Brad, yell over to Brian to get back on.
Get back on.
Round table number 5. Favorite opponent or feud? So, my favorite opponent of Hulk Hogan was Randy Savage. I enjoyed their matches. I enjoyed the feud. It was like a year in the making to the following WrestleMania. So that's my answer. Brad?
So Kevin took mine, so I'll use my backup, and that would be the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, sir. Calvin.
Ooh, shit. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to pick. I mean, if I got to pick, I'm gonna say, Sting, the feud he had with Sting when he was Hollywood Hogan. So wasn't much of a feud, but it was a feud.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad feud at all.
Nope.
Roger?
Well, Brad took mine. Calvin took my second. So I'll go with Sid Vicious.
There you go. That's a good one.
Okay.
They
That is a good one.
They had a real good matches and real good follow up. So I'll go with that.
Will?
So I'll give you favorite match, which I've talked about this a lot in the chat, and you guys already know it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Favorite match of all time for me was Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna, King of the Ring 93. Yes, Hogan lost. Yes, it was a terrible finish. But the idea of the golden era wrestling Hulk Hogan meeting the new generation of wrestling in Yokozuna, and Yokozuna winning the title. Of course, it ends Hogan's WWF run. He goes to WCW, which ultimately leads to him creating, the NWO and Hollywood and all of that. But that match alone was such a big moment that people don't really realize how the whole generation of wrestling changed in that one moment. Like it signified the end of the golden era and the beginning of the new generation, which of course led to the attitude era and ruthless aggression and all the other eras. You have to have an end to every story. You can't tell a story forever. You have a beginning, you have chapters, you have the middle, and you have an end. And that was the end of the Hulk Hogan story in WWF at that time. Now, of
Right.
course, he comes back later, but all it did was make him that much bigger and better when he went to WCW. And all it did was make him that much better when he created the NWO or helped create the NWO. And then when he came back as the creation from his time away, so that one single match, him losing, kicked off a whole new generation of talent of people that probably would never have got to that spot if it wasn't for that changing of the guard. Like you probably never would have seen multiple title reigns by Brett and The Undertaker and Austin and so many more, Shawn Michaels, Sid, because you would have still had the old golden era trying to hang on through the 90s where they went to WCW and they created something totally different and really built it up. So my favorite match of his would be, of course, Hogan and Yokozuna, where he drops the belt, he had that hand in it, whether he knew it or not. He had the hand in creating a whole new generation behind him by losing in that match. And then, of course, favorite feuds. I just don't know how you can ever get any bigger than a Hogan versus Flair feud. It had the big fight feel every single time. And if you don't think so, go back and watch the build up to Halloween Havoc 1994, Hogan and Flair in the cage was supposed to be career versus career, which of course we all know it wasn't because Flair came back like 6 months later. But that feud alone, all through the years, when you knew it was going to be Hogan and Flair in the main event, you knew you had something.
That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that and the story behind it. Manuel?
So my favorite rivalry or opponent was Hulk Hogan versus WCW.
Oh, wow.
Just
Okay. Yeah.
because when even though he was before the NWO, he was still, fighting everybody, every opponent. He was Hulk Hogan. I mean, he was at that point the biggest household name. Yeah, you had Macho, but I mean, it was Hulk Hogan. And then once he joined the NWO, it was NWO versus WCW, and Hogan's the leader of the NWO. And I think at that point, they had just about everybody in the NWO. They had like 5 million people. But he fought basically just about everybody: Sting, Macho, DDP, the Giant. He fought basically the NWO fought a whole company, pretty much. I mean, really. So for me, my favorite rivalry is just the WCW, just Hulk Hogan versus WCW.
All right. Great answer. Phil?
I got to go Hogan Andre, greatest rivalry. It's hard to kind of catch some of these moments, but if you all can go back and look at the Japan wrestling, when Hogan goes over there and wins the title, he's like the first New Japan champion, I believe, or something of that nature. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they had some battles over there, a lot of tag team matches, Hogan versus Andre, and then of course, that leads up to WrestleMania, Hogan versus Andre. But if that whole feud, man, just going back and looking at that was a great rivalry. My favorite.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you. Dr. Nick?
So, one of my, there's so many, but I kind of narrowed it down. I really enjoyed Sting as an opponent for Hogan and the feud that they had. You have two really, really top competitors and to finally see, Sting versus Hogan after all those years of what if. And then when, he went to WCW, it's like, oh my gosh, he could finally face all these different guys. And then when it finally happened, it was so big. And, to have that moment of Hogan be a different character and still be cheered somewhat, because Sting was so over as a face anyway. That always stuck out to me as a huge career point for him.
All right. This is our last round table. Most emotional for me is what is the Hulk Hogan legacy? What's going to be his legacy? I guess I'll go first. To me, his legacy is, he made wrestling what it is today. It was to the territories or whatever, but him along with McMahon made it pop culture. He brought it into the pop culture the way it is. If without him, I'm not saying wrestling wasn't popular because it was, but it went more mainstream with Hulk, and to me, that's his legacy. To me, it's hitting me really hard right now. It's just now hitting me. So, but I'm not, one of the goats. One of the goats when it comes to making this. I'm gonna miss the guy. It hasn't really hit a little bit now, but yeah, that's about all I got. Brad.
So I'll piggyback off what Kevin said. He's one of the goats. Like I said, he was with me from when I began watching professional wrestling to now. So it's still a shock that he won't be around much longer. Not everybody always had to agree with what he did or said, but everybody respected him. And I'll miss him, and wrestling won't be the same without him.
Calvin.
Oof. Of course, I agree with what you said, Kev, but it's always the saying that Hogan had that's going to stick in your head. Say your prayers and eat your vitamins. I'm glad I got to meet him in December. I'm happy about that. Of course, you and Will got to experience that with me. Greatest day of my life. Well, the fourth greatest day of my life. But without Hogan, I don't think there would have been a WWE.
I agree.
Or a Monday Night War feud. So
that's a great answer. And plus, the Hulkster meant so much to you with you and your dad.
Yeah.
So
it was my dad that got me into wrestling, and I can honestly say I believe the only time that my dad really didn't like Hogan is Bash at the Beach '96 when he done his heel turn.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I didn't know that, but man, we were proud to be there with you for that day. That was an awesome time, and I'll never forget it. Okay, Roger.
I agree.
Is he on mute? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know if I can say any more than what you, Brad and Calvin already said. I 100% agree with what Brad said. There would be no WWE without Hulk Hogan. You can say, oh, but they had Andre, they had this, they had that. Hulk turned around and made it. Hulkamania, that's what made WWE at that time. To me, I don't care about championships or anything like that. We can say John Cena's the GOAT, but just like Michael Jordan, uh, Hulk Hogan is the GOAT. We could turn around and say Ric Flair is the GOAT. I think you could put Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan in the same breath.
I agree.
Anybody other than that, they're far seconds. It's gonna be hard not not knowing that you're not going to be able to watch him on TV, whether you boo him or you like him, it's still a pop.
Yep.
So I don't know that that's hit me yet, but and I regret I had some stuff I wanted him to sign as well and didn't get the chance. But I think that when we go back and look at it, just like I said, just like Kev, Brad, and Calvin already said and said it well, there's nobody better than Hulk Hogan.
Will?
July 7th, 1996, Daytona Beach, Florida. Hogan's cutting this monster ass promo, just tearing people to shreds, talking about all the things that he's done. And he comes to a point in this conversation, in this promo, and he says, at some point, the man became bigger than the entire sport of professional wrestling. And, you look back on that, because at the time, I don't think it really got over, it really hit as hard as it should. But you look all these years later, almost 30 years later, and you think about how much bigger the man did become than the sport. First time, and in my opinion, as far as I know, to this day, the only professional wrestler to ever be on the Sports Illustrated cover. You look at Sports Center today, hours of nonstop coverage of him passing. You look at any local news channel, any national news channel, nonstop hours of coverage, just like you would see when a major world event has happened. And I think the legacy is pretty clear, and I think it's one that, when you talk about the immortal part of it, it's not necessarily the physical being, it's the fact that it's 2025, and in my opinion, in 2125, none of us will be there to see it. None of us will be on the podcast. None of us will be here anywhere. But I think you're still going to see some variation, some form of the professional wrestling sport. And somewhere along the way, there's going to be some red and yellow. There's going to be a then, now, forever together. And there's going to be either an opening montage. There's going to be a look what happened on this day in wrestling history 100 years ago. You see, the reason you don't see things from 1825, but you see them in 1925, or excuse me, from 1925 to 2025 is because they didn't have the technology that we have now. And then if you fast forward 100 years, you're going to look at the technology they have. If you had the technology in 1925, you'd still be seeing things today from the wrestlers back then. You got to remember the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, and some of the others started in like 1903. And there's not a lot of footage, there's not a lot of publication stuff out there that has survived. But in 2025, there's tons of digital media, there's tons of video footage, there's all that stuff is preserved now. It's all, in libraries across the world, it's in warehouses across the world. It's in one computer can stream 1,000 years of footage. So that's the legacy. Is in 1925 you didn't have the technology. In 2025 you do. In 2125 you're going to have that technology around still, and I think that's where the legacy will continue, because our children's children's children will see something someday somewhere of the red and yellow running wild, and that's the legacy.
Yeah.
Amen.
I agree.
I'd love to have that wrote down. All right, Guru.
So for me, Hulkamania was and always will be professional wrestling. It hurt. I read it. I thought the internet was lying because they put that stuff out all the time. But just personally, I mean, political beliefs aside, personal feelings aside, Hulk Hogan, the persona and the for me, Hulk Hogan, the person in the ring is what made me fall in love. I didn't know him personally, so I can't so I can't speak on him personally. I knew Hulk Hogan the character. That's what made me fall in love with professional wrestling. People today was asking me, well, what about what he said? I don't care what he said, personally. Um, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a human as well. He's a person. Um, it doesn't affect my life. But what did affect my life was Hulkamania. You know, um, people feel how they feel. I mean, I know that a lot of people, will try to tarnish his legacy for personal reasons and what he, his personal feelings and personal beliefs, and that's all fine and dandy for them. But for me, I won't sit here and bash him or talk to anybody bad about him because Hulk Hogan, the person, made me fall in love with professional wrestling. If I knew Hulk Hogan on a personal level, then it'd be a little bit different. But to me, I don't know him. Um, but I do know the character that he played on TV and in movies. That's who I fell in love with as a kid. Um, I could care regardless of his political affiliation or the words that come out of his mouth and on a recorded line or whatever. That's going to come up in the future. I mean, a couple of days from now, it's probably going to be a long Facebook post from somebody bashing him. It's just what the America we live in. Everybody gets their feelings hurt too easy. Um, it's kind of a soft generation. But Hulk, if you're not a true wrestling fan, if Hulk Hogan didn't inspire you some sort of way, whether it be the say your prayers, eat your vitamins, ripping the shirt for me was always cool as a kid. Let me tell you something, brother. If you're not a true wrestling fan, if Hulk Hogan did not mean something to you uh, in your childhood, or if you caught it all later in life, because he at the end of the day he is professional wrestling, and like Will said, I think he's bigger than professional wrestling. I mean, I know when I ask people, what do you know about wrestling? I know Hulk Hogan tells me everything I need to know right there about who he is.
Oh, my brother, testify. I appreciate you sharing that. That was awesome. Thank you.
King
Phil?
Phil.
So Hulkamania, man. I mean, that's the legacy will live on forever. Like Will said, this day we'll remember for forever. And to piggyback kind of off of what Manuel said, Hulk Hogan is professional wrestling. So if you look at the state that wrestling's in, you've got TKO, which is a corporation that has taken over WWE. We've got logos in the ring. We've got celebrities in the ring. We're in a whole different ball game than what we were in. And I mean, I don't want to be like too wild, but I would say that we could even classify today as like almost the day that professional wrestling died. Just because, I mean, obviously we'll have professional wrestling, but you got Cena's retiring. You've got everybody's getting older now. They don't make them like they used to. I still watch NXT and a lot of the new up and comers, but it's not that, it's not that. So I think he lives on forever. Like Manny said, I mean, I got a lot of different emotions, or not emotions, but people emotionally today in the black community. They're a lot of upset, but they're not like people who was watching wrestling anyway. So the people who watch wrestling know. And if you go back and look at what he said that was racist, it's probably something that I'll teach my daughter today. Like, yeah, we don't need to be with a bunch of broke. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, though, for real. I think his legacy lives on forever. People who know what it is, they know he's the GOAT. And for anybody who's mad, I mean, it just is what it is. He's the GOAT.
Dr.
Fantastic.
Nick.
So I could equate this to some uh, things that I remember when I noticed, uh, just how people feel about, just the legacy of the sport and the fact that he motivated a lot of young kids to work out and take their vitamins and not smoke and make good moral decisions and just a wholesome message, especially during the early days of, Hulkamania. I asked a relative one time, what were some of their, memories of just tragic things. And I would equate this to like Elvis Presley dying and how traumatic it was to music fans. I mean, I remember watching, videos of people just absolutely just devastated, losing um an icon like that. I would equate, Hogan. If you didn't know professional wrestling, everybody knew who Hulk Hogan was. You could always ask that question. Hey, you know about wrestling? Yeah, that Hulk Hogan guy. And, losing someone that was such a spotlight of the sport in general, like I said, Elvis Presley for music, losing John Wayne when he passed away, such a big icon in that. And I realized that as we've gotten older as people, other people have gotten older and we don't realize it happening. The fact that he was the immortal Hulk Hogan. And I probably said this, I wish I had not spoken into an existence. About a month ago, I remember seeing a picture of him promoting the amateur wrestling with Eric Bischoff. And I remember commenting in the group chat going, wow, Hogan looks really bad. I don't know how to feel other than just lost, if that makes sense. I just turned 40 years old in March, and so many of these people that we grew up with were just untouchable. They were larger than life people that weren't supposed to die. And I don't know. As soon as I found that out this afternoon, I was just like a gigantic punch in the stomach. And I don't know if I'm going to be okay for a while, to be honest.
Hey, Kev, can you mute everybody? Or can everybody mute? Because somebody's TV is really loud.
I'm working on it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Can we hear better now or?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So in closing, because I think we're good now, right, Kev? We can close.
Yeah, we're in the closing.
So in closing, I wanted to share two things that I saw today that I thought were absolutely heartbreaking and truly just sad. The first thing that I saw was when TMZ was talking to Ric Flair, and you saw somebody that Ric Flair used to talk about being the last living real world's champion, and as of today, he really is. And when they were talking to him, if you didn't get to see the interview, unless you don't want to see it, I would recommend you go back and check it out. He did a real quick interview this morning, and it was probably the saddest thing you'll see. Of course, he's very upset. He's crying. He's very emotional. It's just it was hard to watch, but it was, you want to watch it because you want to support Ric Flair and you want to support the sport that we all love. And the second saddest thing that I saw today was the meme that somebody created where the little boy is standing with the doll in his hand or the figure in his hand, and Hogan's walking away into the sunset. And I thought, man, all the rest of the stuff is bad enough, and it's on the news every 20 minutes, and it's on all this stuff. But when you see things like that, and you realize, that wasn't a representation of that little boy, or that wasn't a representation of even Hulk. It was a representation of millions and millions of people's childhood that faded off into the sunset today. And I think that that was the real image that was captured in that. And I think it was probably shared in our chat. And if not, I'm sure we can get it shared. But, I think that's what you have to look at, and you have to remember that everything is an hourglass. And I talk about this all the time, especially when we're closing the lives out. You have to live for each day, and you have to realize you only live once. And, you know, just like earlier, every book has an end. Every story has an end. There's a beginning, there's chapters, there's a middle, and there's an end. And it's very, very important to remember that. And especially in today's world with all the negativity, the constant, consistent negativity, it's very important to remember that. So, in closing, I know we're going to have a brief moment of silence and we're going to get out of here, but I wanted to take a minute and tell you all thank you so much for spending the time with us. A lot of people listen to us on their way to work in the mornings. So tomorrow morning, you'll see the numbers start to escalate on the views and all that stuff. And a lot of people are going to have a lot of different opinions. And, it's okay to have varying opinions. But at the end of the day, um, this is a day that will live on forever. So that's all I got. We will see you next week, Thursday nights, 9 o'clock. And I wish you all the best and have a great night, everybody.
See everybody.